Welcome to Business Success Tips, where you learn to make more money in less time and have a lot more fun. I'm your host, Paul Sanneman. I'm the founder of Contractor Staffing Source, where we help contractors build great teams. I have Margee Moore. I hope I got that right.
You
with
did, Paul.
Thank you, with Big Orange Marketing, and she's going to talk to us about marketing today. So, Margee, I guess the first question is, why should people listen to you, and what makes you better than all the other marketing agencies out there?
Thank you, Paul. So the thing that makes us different than all the other marketing agencies out there is that we are StoryBrand certified. So we know how to use message simplification to tell your story clearly to the people that you're trying to sell to, plus SEO services. So we bring together those two great things and build great, beautiful websites and ongoing content plans that help you get found, get leads, and grow.
So, what's the story marketing? Explain more about that. What's that mean?
Oh yeah, so story brand marketing is from the book by Donald Miller called Building a Story Brand, where he goes through the 7 parts of every story as a framework. Like every story in the world starts with a person, a character, a main character who has some goals, but he has a lot of problems that he has to overcome, because you can't have a story unless there's problems to overcome. Yeah, the reasons you should believe this character. Let me start that again. Can I start that again?
No
Or are we
problem.
like rolling?
We're
We're
rolling,
rolling.
but
Okay.
people are very forgiving. Go for it. Try one more time.
All right. Yeah. So really, what it is that it's the 7-part framework, and what that helps us to do is to make the customer the hero of the story, and the business that we're helping build that website for, write that content for, the guide. So that's really what the story brand is about, and it follows that 7-part framework that every story ever told, every movie you've ever watched follows.
Is this like the hero's journey kind of thing when they talk about whether it's Star Wars or, Plato, they all have the same plot, right? In a way.
That is a little bit of a part of it. We do talk about Yoda being a consummate guide a lot, but in the story of Star Wars, where Yoda and Luke are together, Luke's the hero. He has a goal. He has a
Right.
pain point, but he can't win the day without the help of his guide. And Yoda is his guide there. So yeah,
Right.
so it's about message simplification and clarifying your message so customers will listen.
So basically, people already have this in their brain, right? The story thing. So you're
Mm-hmm.
just trying to fit your story into something they already are familiar with. I mean, the whole hero's journey kind of thing, or the storyboard kind of stuff. So tell me an example. I mean, because I think that's pretty abstract. Give me the name of a company you've done that for, or you can use ABC if you want to. But how
Yeah,
does it
sure.
work in practical? Like, I've got a remodeling company or a plumbing company. How do I apply that to like my company?
Yes, yes. So let me talk about like related to home building and remodeling and things like that. Um, a development, like a new home development where you're building new homes. You're not helping person buy a house, but you're helping them live that healthy, full lifestyle they want to live. A website we built was Rivers Point Estates for a $1 billion master plan community in northern Kentucky on the river near Ohio. And the hero statement of that is come explore with us. So rather than come buy a house, it's about come explore with us. So people want to have this higher, they have this higher vision of what they want from their lives. They want to be healthy. They want to have exciting activities. They want to live in some place special. They want to be part of a story. So come explore with us is the hero statement for that. And then the subheading in most websites is where we put things more tactical, like we provide these types of new homes to help you achieve your dreams and things like that. So that's an example I think that would
Okay,
help
I'm
tell
going
it.
to give you a tough one here. How would you apply the hero's journey, the storyboard, to a plumbing company? Plumbing
A
sounds
plumbing
big,
company.
right?
All right, how about we do like a roofing company?
Okay, roofing company. You made work roofing. Same idea. Okay.
So then rather than just come get your roofs, you are trying to you're protecting your family, you are protecting your biggest investment, you are helping to save the day by choosing the right roofing company. Um, so I don't have a headline off the top of my head, but you make it more about how you are helping them achieve their goals, which are more than just, fix my roof, build my roof. It's, help me protect my family, help me build the home that I want to build for my family.
So maybe you can give me some specific examples of companies that you've worked with that actually helps generate business.
Yes. Yeah. So companies we work with we work with just 4 verticals. We work with managed service providers, IT services firms. We work with builder and developers and all those related industries like landscapers, um, those types of things, and manufacturing firms as well. And then landscapers is actually the 4th. So builder developers and then landscapers. So one example would be like Siler's Landscaping as a home related business that you would be connected to as well. So that statement, that hero statement, or what are results we get for them?
Yeah.
Real results we get for them is they spend just thousands a year on marketing with Big Orange Marketing, but they make millions. So our return on investment for them, the percentages seem kind of hard to believe, but they're like in the 1,000%.
Wow.
Like they received like 43 leads last month through their website. So we get great results for them through clarifying that message, but then also building the website for search. So when people are looking for Cincinnati landscaping firms, Cincinnati landscapers, Cincinnati decks and patios, Cincinnati stone walls, that they're finding us for that. But then they come, and this messaging and this beautiful imagery, helps move them down the sales funnel where they're booking an appointment, they're contacting us. And they're saying, they're telling us about like their projects, like these are the projects that we need help with. And, so they're definitely investing in, getting the help they need with their home projects.
That works. Now, I hear that Google's getting smarter by the day. I mean, I guess it literally can tell how long people on your website, whether they sign up or not, how, whether if they're calling and you're the 4th one and they didn't answer the first 3 are penalized. So, and reviews are important. So I guess developing a footprint is becoming more sophisticated than it used to be because Google's getting smarter. Is that true?
That is so true. The way we phrase this now is all the things. You need to be doing all of the things, and you need to not, it's just not like have a great website that's optimized for search and that keeps adding up new content to stack up more keywords. You need to do that. You need to own your website presence and have it be built up for search. But you also need to be over on social media, being active, sharing how you solve people's problems, but not always talking about yourself. You need to be being educational. You need to be lifting people up. You need to be sharing things with your community. So you need to be over there doing social. In social, you probably also need to be doing a YouTube shorts type or a video shorts type of strategy where you're sharing things regularly over and over on the same topic. Like for us, it's StoryBrand marketing. So I am constantly talking about StoryBrand marketing because people only see about 12% of what you do. So all the things. So that's the things. Newsletter, you got to have an email newsletter going. You got to be building that email list to have that email newsletter going. Then you also need to be doing your local SEO, which part of that's your Google reviews. You need to do that. But you also need to be doing a thing like a citation burst for local SEO, where you make sure your name, address, and phone number, your NAP, is the same out there everywhere that's pointing at you. So, very important for contractors and the types of businesses you serve. But your name, your address, and I'm talking your address should be almost exactly the same everywhere. Like we're 500 Wyoming Avenue Unit 2 for whatever reason, rather than Suite 2. I need to make sure it's Unit 2 everywhere because then Google's not confused and it sees us more easily. So all of the things are what we highly recommend to everyone nowadays.
Now, also, I understand that Google's getting to the point now, where they, if you join the Chamber of Commerce, you get comments from the local school that you sponsored the team. I mean, there's all kinds of like community involvement that didn't used to matter. But somehow Google is finding out about all that stuff, I guess. So they're being much more, I don't know if investigative is the right word, but they're getting better at trying to pick the right person to serve the other person. So they're not just looking at keywords or some other stuff. They're trying to find out who you are as a company, who you are as a person, all that stuff, right? That all counts now.
Specifically, do you sponsor like Little League team and stuff like that? I think it's signals. Like think about it as signals. Those are community signals. So you're sending some sort of community signals, being involved in your community. I'm not saying you have to go out and sponsor that Little League team, but in your social media, like I said, be sharing in three buckets regularly: providing education, sharing everything you know about contractor services, everything you know about landscaping. Be sharing constantly your educational material. You need to be sharing things in your community, like, hey, Zoo Blooms, say a landscaper, hey, Zoo Blooms is free on Thursdays in April. Stop by, and things like that related to your community, but also sort of related to what you're selling, where you have a right to own. And then the third bucket is lifting others up. Just always be sharing like, hey, this person on our team got a great review, congratulations to our team members. So that's the three buckets we talk about. And if you just constantly going through those three buckets in your social, you'll hit it. You'll be doing what Google wants to see.
So to me, that sounds like a lot of work. So I guess one question that comes up these days is, with AI, it can generate a lot of this stuff for you. It's easier. So I've heard two schools of thought, and I'd love your opinion on this one. One school of thought is, it takes a Terminator to kill a Terminator, and AI is a good thing, and AI can generate content, and it's a good thing. The other point of view is, no, Google's getting really picky, and if you use AI to generate your content, it's going to penalize you. Do you have a position on that?
Yes, probably the latter. So you don't want to just be putting out content for putting out content, because Google will see that. And that was the March update for Google, was, looking for people who are just like taking a competitor's website, ripping off the whole thing and putting it up themselves. So the way I like to tell you is the Google EAT principle is always still true. And the EAT is spelled EEAT. Experience. So share your real stories of things you've actually seen and your experiences. Expertise, show your years of service. Authoritativeness, and then trust. And trust is about things like, are there no grammatical mistakes? Do you show do you show that you have nothing wrong with your website, like your website speed? You don't have any, slow loading images. So the things that sort of convey trust as well. So that Google EAT principle is always still true. And Google has said it's still true. Um, and it definitely seems to still be true. So just always be providing human content that helps solve human problems. Use AI as a starter. Like you don't want to get left behind, not be using AI, but use it as a starter, start copy. Use it to lay out your entire content plan. Use it to do keyword research. Use it to research your competitors. But then when you're asking it to write stuff for you, insert your own stories. Show your EEAT, show your authority, show your expertise, show your real stories. And then always have a human editing it for, making it more human. But use it for starter copy is how I would say that.
So you could probably feed those parameters into ChatGPT or whatever, say, make it what you just said, and it would probably be better. I mean, it'll certainly help because it'll okay, make sure you do those three you mentioned, and you tell Google, excuse me, ChatGPT to do that. The chances are it'll be more in line with what you want. Is that accurate?
I think what you could do, or what you might be referring to, is like use prompts, like prompt engineering. Like
Right.
use ask it something one time, like what are the top things that people would search when they're looking for contractor services? What are the key, and then come up with 5 titles, and then have it maybe draft it, but then say, okay, use a more prompt it to use a more casual, friendly tone. And then you can also train chat GPTs. You can train GPTs to be all about your brand. So feed it, the services you do, the area you're in, like, the types of roofing that are popular in your area, feed it in all of your information and make your own sort of GPT. That's probably getting a little complicated for most people, but you customize it, and then keep prompt engineering to change it
Okay.
but I think you still need to, then you got to go in and you got to read it, and you got to re-edit it, because it's fluffy. It's And then, insert your own stories, but then keep editing it because it's just a little too fluffy.
Okay, now question. That that sounds like a lot of work for the average contractor. I'm just thinking like, oh my God. So is that something you do for contractors all in? And what would it cost somebody to do that? It sounds expensive.
So what we do is we do have several levels of pricing. We have so yes, what we do for people is a outsourced marketing package. So we have our social media only package where we will do a whole month of social media at a time. The person gets to review it, approve it, we load it all up. We also do engagement on the platform for them as well. Then do you want to know pricing? Do you want me to talk
Yeah,
about
I'm just
pricing?
curious. Yeah, I'm just curious. Yeah.
That's like 1,200 a month. And then we have a startup service where we're doing social media, some content, stacking up some content on your website, plus an email newsletter, and that's like a startup package, and that's like in the 2,200 range. For most people who have SEO goals, plus social media goals and trying to really grow their ranking with Google, we do have a growth package, and that's about 4,500 a month, and we take care of all the things that we mentioned. Like we take care of all the content because we need to be stacking up probably like 4 pieces of content a month, and nowadays we are feeling like that content needs to be longer and more meaty all the time. So really well written by a human, reviewed by a human, organized by a human, to be like
Right.
guides along people's buyers' journeys is a lot of the deeper content we're trying to write nowadays.
Okay. So can you tell me just for fun, what is one of your biggest successes and your biggest failures? I'm just curious.
Biggest successes. I hear great successes like every week from our team. Like the one I mentioned with Siler's Landscaping, getting 43 leads last month. So I hear good success like that all the time. So I just love hearing those stories like every week. Like somebody will tell me something in our weekly Wednesday meeting. So I love that. Um, Biggest failure. Mm, I don't know. Sometimes when we try too hard to work with a client that's just not right with our values and not right with our that just doesn't work, or maybe there's you feel like maybe the decision maker you need is not there, and you take on a project anyway, like hoping it will go well, and then it doesn't. Like when you see the
Right.
red flags, you should follow the red flags, and
Not a good idea, right? So,
yeah, this is not going to
um,
work out.
so what size clients do you work with? Are they like, I mean, how big do you have to be in order to make your services make sense? It sounds like you're almost a fractional, CMO, like you do a lot of strategy and that kind of stuff.
Yes,
So,
yes, we do a lot of the strategy too. Pretty much we find with landscaping firms, they need to be in like the 7 figures, like 1 million to 2 million annual revenue. Then we start to make sense because we are much more affordable than hiring a full-time marketing person on your staff.
mhm,
Because even when you hire a full-time marketing person on your staff, you'll get like a really great writer, a really great social media person, or a really great digital strategist, but you won't get like all of the things that you get with us. So
right.
that's when we make sense. Is like the 1 million, 2 million annual revenue, about definitely over 5 employees, somewhere like more than 10 usually.
Okay, cool. All
Yeah.
right. Well, what would you say as things move along? I always ask to a question mark company. There's SEO, that's one whole like thing, and then there's pay-per-click and other versions of that, right? So
Mhm.
there's one which is building your brand and one is paying for leads. Just put in two things. And there's a question of what percentage of your budget you should spend. It should be 2%, 10%. I'm sure it depends on the company. So I would like your opinion on how does one determine how much they should spend on marketing and where they should put it, whether it's in the whole SEO thing, building brand, or it's in paying for leads.
So I would say the Small Business Administration has recommended 7% of revenue is a good figure to spend on your marketing. So when I tell that to people, you can see them doing the calculations. So then I tell people sometimes just start with 1%. Start with 1% of your annual revenue. Start there, and then get up to 7% when you can. When companies are in massive growth mode, like when Salesforce was trying to grow their company, they were spending like 50% of their revenue on marketing. So I say, think about 7%, start with 1%, start somewhere in between, but then percentage of pay per click versus building organic SEO. I would, you need both. So do reserve some budget to do the Google Ads pay per click, because that will juice. They say it doesn't, but it does juice your SEO. But if you're just doing pay per click, you're never getting anywhere with building up your own brand, your own SEO, being found for what you're selling. So anytime when you turn this pay per click off, you don't have anything. So you really need to keep them both going.
It's like 50-50, 60-40. You have any suggestions?
Let me think about that. I would say 60 to 70 on your SEO and the things you own that you're building up your presence. And then I would spend more like 40% to 30% on the pay per click.
Okay. And
I
that,
feel like for probably the services like contractors that you were mentioning, if you think about $2,000 in a regional, you're covering usually a region that you can drive to. $2,000 would be great to cover that region. If you can't start with $2,000, start with like $1,000, but cover you can just cover like one city pretty much with that.
you're talking geofencing as a way to like make your budget go further, right?
Um, yes. So geofencing can mean, just choosing an area. Yes. So it's like pinpoint where your office is, and then like the 25 miles you drive to or whatever.
Right.
So that, yeah, you can call it geofencing. Geofencing, they sometimes use a term when they're like where your competitors' office is, or like where a big home show is going on. You can pinpoint that conference center, and then for the week of the conference, you can geofence everybody who comes in and out of that conference. So that's also the term of geofencing. So yeah, yeah, definitely limit your region to your area you serve, but then also geofence at conferences is probably a great idea.
That's a good idea. Cool. Okay. So, Margee, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do it?
Yes. So on our website, we have a book a meeting with Cam, who's our sales lead. He's really great. And you can just go to our website, bigorange.marketing, and book a meeting with Cam. We'd love to talk to you and talk about your business, and happy to do an assessment of your website and how it's going. And if it's something you just want to get started with Google Ads, or just get started with social media, happy to start. Love to work with new clients. Love the contracting business.
Okay. So you have some kind of original discovery call, or so you can, we think we can help you or not. You help people understand what you can do for them, right? I assume.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So initial discovery call, you typically take a half hour to 45 minutes. We have a series of questions we ask about, how old is your website? How many leads do you get through it per now? And, then we can look at the back end of it, look at your SEO, look at how old is your content, look at all of that stuff. And then we would meet again, if we have a fit, to put together a proposal, go over a proposal with you, and, talk about, do you need a new website, or can we just move you into our ongoing growth package, is typically what we do.
Cool, great. So I would say to the audience, you're really interested, either if you're not happy with the marketing agency you've got, or you're starting marketing the first time, you hit the couple $1 million mark. I think, Margee's a good choice to start, I think. That makes sense?
Yeah. Thanks, Paul.
Okay,
Thanks for
thank
the
you. I
reco.
appreciate your time. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.